All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Happy Monday. It's November. We've made it to November somehow. I can't believe how fast this year is going, but we're here and the weather's starting to get real nice. I went for a run this morning. It was cold. That's always a good kind of feeling. Just got finished up doing I have another podcast that I help with called the Boneyard Podcast, a Lake Highlands football podcast. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. We just finished that up. So now I'm back home in my sister's room, which I've converted into my studio. It used to be my room. She kind of stole it from me, and now I've taken it back with a real vengeance, and I've hung up my Mizzou gear. You can see she has some nice angel wings, and we got all sorts of stuff here on the desk, but this is my studio now, and she whether she approves or not is none of my business. Hey, we've got a fun show. Mizzou didn't play. I miss Mizzou when they don't play. I miss having that 2.5 hour hole in the day where I just am pissed off the whole time. And on Saturday, I didn't have that, and it sucked. I was mostly happy the whole day. I watched other games that didn't matter to me. It was really lame, a lame, stress-free Saturday. So the good news is we'll be back to the exciting, frustrating Saturdays that we've gotten used to next week against Texas A&M. And I'll start talking about Texas A&M probably Thursday. I'll say Thursday. We also have Mizzou basketball tonight. So tomorrow I think I'm just going to talk Mizzou basketball. But they open the season tonight in Washington, D.C. to play Howard. Is Howard – this is maybe a dumb question. Are they in – is that so it must be a true road game. Because I didn't know if that was a neutral site. But, yeah, Howard is in D.C. So there you go. Mizzou going on the road to open the season. When's the last time they did that? Last year against Memphis, actually. So there you go. Mizzou tonight. But today on the show, we're going to talk SEC football, still football season. Got a lot to talk about. There are some great games, man. Really, really some great games. I'll go over those. I'll go over my picks from last week. I don't want to spoil it. It's back there. Also, my power rankings. I don't want to really spoil that either. And here we go. My camera's doing this thing now where it moves with me. You don't have to do that. I've got it all centered how I want it. Just stay. Okay. All right. AP poll update. Missouri checks in at number 19. Did not play this week. Still top 25 team according to the media voters, which is good. They were one of 9 SEC teams to get in there. Texas A&M, still the highest ranked SEC team. They're number 3 in the country. Alabama, number 4. Georgia, number 5. Ole Miss, number 7. Oklahoma, number 11. Texas, 13. Hey, Texas beat Oklahoma straight up, by the way. So I don't know about that, but AP poll voters are notoriously on top of their game, so I have to trust them there. Number 15, Vanderbilt. Number 19, Missouri. Let me double check that. Make sure it wasn't 16 and I accidentally wrote 19, but I think I'm right about this. Yeah, 19. 19, yep. And then Tennessee, number 23. Tennessee is the only 3-loss team in the AP poll. So that's interesting. When do the college football rankings come out? That's a good question. It's usually on Tuesdays. I don't know when does it start? I think it's this Tuesday, tomorrow night. I think the first college football playoff poll comes out, which for those who don't know, that's the one that matters. The AP poll really doesn't mean anything. So I'll have an update on that on the Wednesday show. But there you go, 9 SEC teams in the poll. I have a little bit of a recruiting update from Missouri, both basketball and football. Tristan Reed, the talented 4-star basketball player, committed to Mississippi State. A lot of people thought maybe he'd go to Missouri, but he's going to play for the Bulldogs down there in Starkville, Mississippi. On a more positive note, on the football side of things, Missouri flipped a 3-star cornerback from California. You don't get too many California recruits in Missouri. I'm trying to think the last one, unless I'm missing someone pretty obvious. I can't think of the last time Missouri pulled a California kid. That's a good question. I'll do some research and maybe have an answer tomorrow. But Jackson Gates from Laverne, California, was committed to BYU. Missouri flipped him on Halloween. They're now up to the number 24 class in the country. That's pretty good. I like it. Some more updates, just general updates. A big thing happened in the SEC this week. It seems like for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, we've had 2 or 3 Mondays, we've had a coaching decision to talk about. And boy, do we have another one. Auburn is open. Hugh Freeze fired from Auburn. This feels to me like a long time coming from the moment this thing started, from the moment they hired him. This felt like a disaster. Auburn now leaving DJ Durkin in charge of their interim. He's their interim head coach. It's not like, so they're replacing a controversy coach with another controversy coach. That's usually pretty good, but it's about a $15 million buyout. Pretty good. I mean, I think you feel pretty good about that if you're Auburn. But now they've entered this. The SEC is kind of dominating the coaching carousel. You obviously have Penn State open. I think Maryland may have just opened. Virginia Tech, obviously UCLA. So there's some other big schools, but the SEC, man, they're demanding the attention here in the carousel, coaching carousel. This relates to Missouri in a way, and I'll explain it right now. I talked about the odds last week of some random bookmaker had these odds on who the next head coach would be at Florida and LSU and Arkansas. I talked about them. By the way, Arkansas, Rhett Lashley just signed a contract extension with the Ponies, who just SMU beat Miami. Shout out to Dallas's SMU. I'm a TCU guy, but hey, it's a good win for the city, and so good for them. But I grew up a TCU fan, so I've never loved SMU, but still a nice win for them. Pretty funny to see the annual Miami collapse here. But anyway, I really thought SMU was going to lose Lashley to Arkansas, but he signs an extension. Matt Rule signed an extension. He was linked to Penn State. I think there was one other coach that I'm forgetting that has signed an extension, but Lane Kiffin has not signed an extension. Eli Drinkwitz has not signed an extension. So the speculation continues. But anyway, I'll get to this. I always have said this. I don't know if I said it on this show, but I've definitely said this to people in my life that I think I did say it on the show. I said that if Auburn opens up, that is the job I would be worried about losing Drinkwitz to as a Missouri fan. And that is because Drinkwitz got his coaching start at Auburn. I think he was a grad assistant. He was what's a quarterback? What's a QC? I don't know. Is it true Drinkwitz was born in Norman, Oklahoma? Golly, I didn't know that. Wow. I don't think he lived there for long, but he's born in Norman, Oklahoma. Okay. Anyway, his first collegiate job, he was a high school coach for 4 years, and then he got a job at Auburn in 2010. That's when they won the national title, if you remember. So, quality control coach. That's what he was at Auburn. So, I've always kind of thought that if he was going to leave, it would be for Auburn. I still think that Florida is going to be in play, especially if they miss on Lane, which I think they will. I think they're going to make Eli Drinkwitz say no to them. I'm more worried about Auburn than Florida, though, I think. And I think, I read somewhere that Penn State is actually another thing that Missouri fans should be at least monitoring. That's a job that it might be a good – I don't know. It's very interesting how this is all going. What I think is that Drinkwitz really likes Missouri, and they have money. I mean, a lot of people don't really give Mizzou the respect in that respect, but Missouri does have money, and I don't think they're going to lose Drinkwitz due to money. I think it's because if they lose him, it's because he wants to be somewhere else and he believes he can win somewhere else. I still think he stays. That is my prediction, but Auburn is the one that gives me the most worry because he's been there and I believe he liked it. And I don't know if the interest is there for Auburn as well. I imagine it is. I imagine that's a guy they'd love to hire, but it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out. You're not going to get any sort of oh no, Arkansas just lost a recruit to Florida State. Breaking news for the Razorback listeners. Anyway, I just think that Auburn is the most intriguing thing here. Now, when I'm thinking about it, if Auburn and Florida both wanted him and say Drinkwitz wanted to leave, which one would he choose? I don't know. I think maybe Auburn. I mean, I don't know. But to be clear, I don't want to start anything here. I think Drinkwitz will stay. That's my guess. But there won't be a real resolution until the end of the year. So we're not going to know. But there you go. I was thinking about that, and I would rank the coaching openings. I'll do the SEC. LSU. I think I would have Florida over Auburn. Although it seems like there's more stability at Auburn maybe than Florida, but I think it would go just as you'd expect: LSU, Florida, Auburn, and Arkansas. And if you want to put Penn State in there, I honestly think you might put Penn State right behind Auburn, maybe right above Auburn. I don't know. But more fun on the coaching carousel. We'll see what happens. It's the way it goes. All right, let's do an SEC recap of the week. Like I said, there were some fun games, some close games. Actually, a lot of close games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the 6 games were decided by one score or less. I'll start with Georgia at Florida. This was one of my picks. I picked Georgia to cover the 7 points. If you watch the end of this game, you know that they should have covered, and they did the ultimate respect thing where they took a knee instead of walking into the end zone. I think that's ridiculous. Just score. Trust your defense to get two stops in 1 minute. Surely your defense can do that, right? But Florida's starting to look like a real football team again. They lost 24-20. DJ Lagway, 15-24, 166 yards. Jaden Baugh looked really good. Man, that kid, Trey Wilson. My dad's name is Trey Wilson. He'll like that. But his name is Eugene Wilson III. They call him Trey Wilson. Very good receiver. Had 121 yards on 9 catches. Also scored a touchdown for Florida. But on the other side, Gunnar Stockton, over 200 yards passing. Zachariah Branch, 112 yards receiving on 10 catches. Nice win for Georgia. Georgia's mastering this kind of late game heroics thing, and I'm not sure how long it's going to last for them. You know, that you come back against Ole Miss and you've come back against Florida. You had to come back against Auburn. You got Mississippi State this weekend at Mississippi State. That's no joke. And you got Texas. Those are 2 teams that could give you some trouble. And if you go down early, it'll be tough to come back, although Penn State's pretty good at letting other teams back into it. We've seen them lose in heartbreaking fashion a couple times. Texas almost let Vanderbilt back into it, so maybe those can continue. But Georgia's going to have to figure out how to, put a real nice game together for 4 quarters. South Carolina goes to Ole Miss and loses. South Carolina, just not really a fantastic team. That's what I can say about them. Trinidad Chambliss really didn't play all that well, but Keywan Lacey, the former Missouri Tiger, 167 rush yards on 24 carries, also scored a touchdown. I don't know, man. That South Carolina team just isn't any good. Just not very good. Vanderbilt at Texas. This is another one of my picks. I had Texas to cover. They didn't. They covered my original line. I had them at 2.5. The line moved to 3.5, but I did have it at 2.5. You can go back and look on the board. It was 2.5. So I covered. Texas had this game in hand, and Vanderbilt storms back. Should have gotten the onside kick with a chance to win, but Texas had it all squared away. Pavia was good. Pavia was great, really. Arch Manning was great. Scored a 75-yard touchdown to Ryan Wingo. Another familiar name for Missouri fans. On the first play of the game, they scored a 75-yard touchdown, set the tone. Texas was up 24-10 at half. They were up 34-10 at one point, and then a big-time comeback gets Vanderbilt back in the game, but they lose. And, Oklahoma at Tennessee. Oklahoma goes to Tennessee and knocks them off. I had Tennessee to cover this game, so no good. This Oklahoma offense gets going. They run the ball really well, which they haven't really done much. Mateer was good enough. Joey Aguilar, good game for him. Not enough though. Oklahoma wins on the road, man. That's a really good win for Oklahoma, whose playoff hopes are still very much alive. Like, this is a team that can certainly make the playoffs here. So, we'll see. We'll see about that. But Oklahoma looking better and better now. Mississippi State at Arkansas. Good grief. Arkansas found a way to lose. And I finally get to change my power rankings a little bit. But Arkansas, couldn't have had this game more under control, and they blew it. Mississippi State wins it late, 38-35 in Fayetteville. I have some friends who are Arkansas fans, so those guys I feel bad for. But in general, I have a hard time feeling bad for Arkansas fans. But even, watching this game unfold on your home field, it finally looks like you're going to get a win in the SEC. Oh, gosh. Tough. Arkansas stinks. Thank goodness for them. It's basketball season, and they got a good team with Coach Cal, so maybe they can get that going. But Arkansas loses. Blake Shapen throws for 242 yards. Anthony Evans, the third from Converse, Texas, a receiver from Mississippi State, had over 100 receiving yards, also 2 touchdowns. Big game for him. Taylon Green, 19-31 with a touchdown. He also ran for 46 yards and a touchdown. Not enough for the Razorbacks to get on the board in the SEC. Kentucky and Auburn. Oh, man, the toilet bowl here. The loser of this game was always going to fire their coach, I think, and it was Auburn who loses. Kentucky on the board, which means Arkansas is the last team in the conference without a conference win. Kentucky beats Auburn 10-3, a real barn burner here. It's time. See you later, Hugh Freeze. He's done, and nobody's more deserving than Hugh Freeze. A real class act. Let's get into my power rankings. That's what happened this week. It was a wild week, and we'll get into my power rankings here. Number 1, I still have Alabama. I was trying to find my last week's power rankings, and I don't know if I have them here. No, this isn't it, but I'll do it anyway. I don't know where my last week's power rankings went, but I have Alabama still number one. I know I had them number one last week, so they're still number one for me. Number two, I have Texas A&M, who it's hard not to put them number one, but just because they were both on buys this week, I had to kind of, keep what I had last week, and we'll assess next week. Both these teams have some interesting games. Alabama hosts LSU. Texas A&M goes on the road to Columbia, Missouri, and plays Matt Zollers and the Missouri Tigers. Number three, I have Georgia. Georgia plays at Mississippi State next week. Should be interesting. Number four, I got Ole Miss. The Rebels, Lane Kiffin, and Ole Miss host the Citadel this week in Oxford. That'll be a win for them. Number five, what do I have? I'm trying to read backwards here. I have Texas. What a climb here for the Longhorns. They're starting to look like we thought they'd look. The defense here was always great. It was the offense and Sarkisian, the play calling, and Arch Manning that always looked really rough. But Arch now has thrown for 300-plus yards in 2 straight games. Sarkisian's starting to call an offense that we have been used to seeing out of that Texas team. And they whooped up on Vanderbilt. I know it was a close game, but they whooped up on Vanderbilt pretty good. And, yeah, man, they're good. Number 6, I have Oklahoma. Really nice win for them up there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Playoff hopes still alive. All these teams I've mentioned so far are at least in the playoff hunt. One more loss probably takes Texas. Good grief. Texas and Oklahoma out of it. Number 7, I have Missouri, also technically still involved here in the playoff race. 2 losses. A loss next week to A&M gets them out of it, so they're hanging on by a thread. Vanderbilt also have hopes of playoffs. They're a 2-loss team. Things get tougher, though, for them pretty soon. Not next week, though. They get to play Auburn at home, which should be that's kind of a gift. A mess of an Auburn team right now. But after that, they do still have some difficult games. And, by the way, Auburn, I think they could keep it close at least. We'll see. Maybe that's stupid. They have Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee, so pretty favorable up there. I think they can win out and go to the playoffs, but also I think it was a good reminder to let's tap the brakes here on Vanderbilt. I get it. That's a good team. Pavia is a good quarterback, but let's tap the brakes because it was necessary. They shouldn't have beat Missouri. So I this was one of my picks. I thought Texas would win, and they did. Yeah, let's tap the brakes on Vanderbilt here. I think they're getting a little bit too big for themselves. I still think they're great. I still think they're a really good team, really fun team. That Eli Stowers kid, sorry, my hair's getting. That Eli Stowers kid, the tight end who transferred in from Texas A&M was great. Pavia was great. So they're a good team. I'm just saying, let's hold on Vanderbilt. Let's hold off a little bit. 9, I have Tennessee. They're just about out of the playoff race. 3 losses. I don't think they can do it now. But they still have a chance to ruin a rival's hopes of the playoffs in the final week of the regular season. They host Vanderbilt, so they could still ruin Vanderbilt's season. I bet they're going to get up for that one. Florida, number 10, a close game against Georgia in Jacksonville. Very close. And it looked for a while like Florida might win the thing. So that's an improved team. I think they're going to be a tough team for teams to play, but depending on who they hire, that Florida team still does have talent. So Mississippi State at 11. Good for Mississippi State climbing up these rankings quickly. They took care of Arkansas, stormed back. They had to come back and do it, but they did it. And they climb up here in the rankings. There's a lot of movement in this week's rankings. This is the first one where I've gotten to have some fun here. LSU number 12. Not much to say. They were on a bye. We'll see what happens. They have to go to play Alabama next week, so we'll see. South Carolina, number 13. I don't think they're very good at all. They're really struggling. I don't know if Shane Beamer is the guy there. People talk about him like he's this really great coach, and he's not really had a great season at South Carolina. I mean, I don't know. People see something in him that I don't see. Last year they won like 9 games. That's your big season, really? Okay, fair enough. But South Carolina, some things maybe going on there. I don't know if they are gonna. I guess they'll keep him around probably because they like him there. He recruits real well. I'll tell him that. He does recruit really well, so that's something for him. Kentucky, up, rising from the dead here. They were 16 in every single edition of this power rankings thing I did. They were 16 every week, and look at them now. They're 14. They didn't just rise 1 spot. They rose 2 spots, getting a win in the SEC against Auburn, something that Arkansas could not do. But Kentucky, man, hey, there you are. And Auburn. So Kentucky beat Auburn. Auburn beat Arkansas. That's why it's like this. Auburn beat Arkansas earlier in the year. I think they stink, though. It's unfortunate. I always kind of like the Auburn program. It's fun when they're good, and maybe they'll make a good hire. Not Drinkwitz, hopefully, but maybe they'll make a fun hire and get things going there again. The last 2 hires they made have been ridiculous. Brian Harsin and then Hugh Freeze. They need a guy, just a level-headed guy who won't be a crazy person. That would be a good start for them, for Auburn. Last, the basement. We have a new leader for the worst team. It's Arkansas. Sorry, but I don't care how many games they've almost won. They don't win them, and that means something. And Bobby Petrino, doing his best not to get a return offer. Although I still think it's possible, but Arkansas totally blew that game. Good Lord. That's the second one in a row. They've really they've done that so many times this year, just blowing it. But anyway, there you go. Picks. My picks went 2-2. Let me move over. It went 2-2 this week. Should have been 3-1. Texas was -2.5. Got it. Mississippi State +5. It took some late heroics, but got it. I also told you to bet them their money line if you're feeling brave. So hopefully someone did that. Tennessee -3, total failure. Didn't even win the game. Oklahoma looked like the better football team. Georgia, come on. Georgia, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, Georgia was up by 4 here against Florida. A rival game, by the way. So you don't need to be respectful in a rival game. They had the ball at like maybe the 5-yard line. It was a 3rd and 1. If they didn't get the first down, they were going to kick a field goal, and this would have at least pushed, or they could go score a touchdown and cover. The worst thing happens. Neither of those things happen. There's a read option. Gunnar Stockton keeps it. Could have walked backwards into the end zone. He could have somersaulted into there. Could have hopped on one leg into the end zone. Whatever you want to say about it. He was home free, gets the first down, and takes a knee at the 1. And Florida covers. So I went 2-2. I'm 8-4. Still pretty good. I'll get things going again next week. But 8-4 since I started doing these picks. So I'm doing okay. Well, next week, let's take a look at the slate next week. Although I kind of told you guys what it was going to be. I'll just run through it again here. The biggest game is Texas A&M at Missouri. That's a top 20 matchup at 2:30 on ABC in Columbia. Hey, YouTube TV, let's get this shit figured out. Excuse me, but YouTube TV and ESPN have divorced, and now ESPN doesn't have any. You can't watch anything on ESPN on YouTube TV. Hey, let's get that figured out. I couldn't watch the effing Texas Vanderbilt game, and I had to illegally stream it at the end. But ABC's not even on there. ABC is an ESPN or Disney entity, I guess, and so a week from now I won't be able to watch the Missouri game unless I go somewhere else, which I will if I have to. But hey, YouTube TV, ESPN, Disney. This is what we're paying you for. I'm not paying you to watch whatever. I'm not paying you to watch what's a stupid channel? I don't know. Those fixer-upper shows, or I'm not paying for that. I'm paying for ESPN. I'm paying for ABC, man. Get me the ESPN channel back, please. It's not, I know it's so hard to ask for ESPN in the middle of football season. I can't watch the Cowboys tonight. Come on. What are we doing? That's why a lot of people have YouTube TV for effing sports. So, hey, just bring back Disney. Come to an agreement here, guys. It's not hard. Or else I'm gonna have to see if I got to take my talents elsewhere. We'll see. A new streaming platform. I don't know, but it's BS, man. I just want to watch the games and I can't. It's stupid. Super stupid. That's the biggest game, though. Auburn at Vanderbilt is also on. I mean, you can't watch any SEC if you have YouTube TV. It's so dumb. Auburn, Vanderbilt, though, at 3 o'clock. Georgia at Mississippi State at 11 on ESPN. It's the Citadel at Ole Miss. LSU at Alabama. Florida at Kentucky. So there's the slate for next week. All right, let's talk about Missouri basketball, getting it going tonight. I do have ESPN Plus, which for some reason lets you watch ESPN Plus things, but not the rest of the things on ESPN, which is a total mess. I'm paying, or my dad is paying for ESPN Plus. Why can't we watch everything on ESPN if we're paying for, what are we doing here? I think this is all really stupid. I'll just say that. I think this is all a bunch of BS. And hey, I'm angry about it. But Missouri travels to Washington, D.C. to play at Howard tonight. They're a 19.5-point favorite. It's on ESPN Plus, so I will be able to watch it. I was thinking like, am I going to watch Missouri basketball, or am I going to watch the Cowboys tonight, who all they do is make me mad? I think I'll go with Missouri, and hopefully Missouri can handle business here against Howard. But the season is getting underway. Tomorrow, my show, I think, will just be about basketball. I'll talk about the game, whatever I saw and whatnot, but I'm excited. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I think this is about all I really have to say. So that's good. Hopefully you guys liked it. Come back tomorrow. We'll talk Mizzou basketball. That's it for me. Happy Monday.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.